Hello friends, today we'll see how to use UIHint data annotation attribute in MVC3 Razor. The UIHint attribute, as the name suggests, gives the ASP.NET MVC the runtime, the name of a template to use while rendering the HTML on the form, and the UIHint attribute accepts the name of the editor template to use to render the content on UI. Now sometimes a requirement or situation arises where you want to have a property of type string and you want to render a drop down or a radio button for that. So when you use EditorFor model, which creates the output HTML for entire model, the EditorFor model itself decides what control to render. Suppose for string it will render text box. So in such conditions, you won't be able to render a radio button or a drop down. It will always render a text box. So in such scenarios, when you are using EditorFor model and you want to render a drop down list or a radio button, you can use UIHint attribute. And what this attribute does is it takes a parameter, that is the name of the editor template. So what EditorFor model will do, it will search for that template in editor templates folder and render whatever the code written in that editor template itself. Let's see through example. Now I have a solution. So I have a model. These properties are don't want this property now. So I've created a small model for register. I have a gender property and I have used a data annotation attribute UIHint, and I have given a gender as a parameter, string parameter. So I am indicating that I'm giving a hint to EditorFor model or runtime that please use gender editor template while rendering output HTML for this property. So if you see the folder structure, under the shared folder I have editor templates folder, and inside that I have created a gender.cs HTML. Now if you see this HTML, it is basically a simple label and radio button rendered in this HTML. So the EditorFor model uses this editor template to render the HTML in respect to that property. So for instance, I've created a register action method and its post method as well. We'll also see how we get this the value, select value selected in the radio button, how we can get that value and how we can save it further. We have register CS HTML. Here we have used EditorFor model and we have passed the name of the model class, that is register. So it will create HTML for entire model. So let's run the application and see. See the male and the female radio buttons are rendered for the gender property. Now if I select female and submit the form, so in this user details I get all the null. I have also accepted the form collection object. In this collection object I get gender.gender as the key name. So using this key name I can fetch the values, that is female. I've selected female, and the rest of the details I can get from user details properties. So let's change our value and see. Now if I select male and I fill other details, submit the form, so I get the details here and the gender selected as male. So thus, just to indicate the EditorFor model, what editor template to use, we use UIHint data annotation attribute, and for using data annotation attribute you have to reference this namespace, that is system.component.data annotation. So this is all about UIHint attribute. Thank you.